Guédelon, c'est une aventure un peu folle, au cœur de la forêt bourguignonne. Depuis une vingtaine d'années, on a décidé de construire, pour comprendre, un château fort du XIIIe siècle. Le XIIIe siècle en France est une période fabuleuse. Personne n'avait jamais construit dans notre monde contemporain de château du XIIIe siècle. Donc, de la première pierre à la dernière tuile, il va falloir qu'on apprenne. Nous sommes une équipe de 70 personnes, dont une quarantaine qui bâtissent ce château fort. On a annoncé 25 ans et qu'avec cette équipe, rien n'est impossible et les rêves les plus fous sont réalisables.
Alors Guédelon, il est différent des autres châteaux qui sont dans le monde, tout simplement parce qu'il a été fabriqué au XXIe siècle avec des moyens qui, eux, sont médiévaux, avec des techniques qui ont 800 ans. J'ai fait une dizaine d'années de chantier un petit peu partout en France. Alors comparer Guédelon avec ce que j'ai fait avant, ça va être difficile parce que Guédelon est un chantier qui est unique en fait. C'est de la science, c'est de l'archéologie et ça me convient bien, quoi.
C'est un retour dans l'histoire que je trouve intéressant. Chaque petite pierre a été taillée. Chaque pièce de bois a été abattue à la main, équarrie à la main, tracée à la main par une équipe fabuleuse. Donc ça, c'est magnifique. Et donc là, il y a une énergie incroyable que je trouve complètement émouvante.
On a un vrai château en fait et c'est nous qui l'avons fabriqué. Donc moi, je suis quand même super fier de ce qu'on fait et c'est quand même une super aventure.
For a castle straight out of a fairy tale, look no further than the Alcazar of Segovia. Located in central Spain, the Alcazar of Segovia is one of the country's most visited and distinctive landmarks. Built in the 12th century, the Alcazar has served many functions over the years: a fortress, a royal palace, a state prison, an artillery college, and most recently, a museum and military archive. However, its most famous function could arguably be that it served as an inspiration in some of the most iconic Disney films. The similarities between Segovia and Cinderella can be found in the building's brick facade, turrets, and location, perched high above the neighboring countryside. Walt Disney also went on to reproduce Segovia as the Queen's Castle in Snow White, with it appearing in the film in its almost exact form. If you can make it up more than 150 stairs to the top of the tower, you will be rewarded with stunning views fit for a queen.
Once a hub of French aristocratic parties, this castle in the countryside lies abandoned after falling victim to a house fire. A few hours outside Paris are the remains of the Chateau de Lemont Chandernierre. The castle was built in the 14th century and was owned by French nobles. It was conquered twice by the British in the Middle Ages and was devastated during the French Revolution. Around 60 years later, after a wealthy relative of Napoleon III took control, he restored the castle to its former glory. However, in 1932, just after central heating was installed, a violent fire broke out. Since the fire, the castle has been slowly taken over by nature. Trees have grown through the interior and vines crawl along the once sturdy castle walls. Though its fate is still uncertain, today there are efforts to save the castle, with a group raising money to restore the ruins.
Located in Yemen is a palace that appears to have been carved from the rock that it sits on. However, this man-made wonder was once just a simple summer home. Just 10 miles away from Yemen's capital city of Sana'a is Dar al-Hajjar, otherwise known as Iman's Rock Palace. In the early days of Yemen's history, the country was led by the Imam, the Islamic spiritual leader, rather than a king or president. The Rock Palace was built in the 1930s by Imam Yahya as his summer residence. However, it is believed to have been built over an older palace. The residence is 5 stories high, has several balconies, and its own water supply from a deep well. It is seen as an example of traditional Yemen architecture due to the patterned windows, earth tone colouring, and protruding exterior decorations. While tourism in this region is limited due to conflict, this palace is both a sanctuary for locals and an example of the man-made beauty of Yemen. Located in Postojna, Slovenia, is a sturdy castle built into a natural cavern halfway up a 400-foot cliffside. Pradyama Castle was built in the 13th century in Gothic-styled architecture. However, after a siege in the 16th century, the exterior was reconstructed and is what you see today. But there's more to this castle than meets the eye. Beneath it lays the Postojna Cave Park. The caves are accessible during May to September and closed in the winter so as not to disturb the hibernating local bats. The castle has changed ownership throughout its history. However, the most famous inhabitor was Ezrim Luga. He was a 15th century Robin Hood-like character who stole from the rich to give to the needy. Today, the castle and caves are open for the public to explore and learn more about its previous colourful owners.
With more than 65,000 square feet of space and 115 rooms, Hearst Castle is one of America's largest and most treasured homes. Hearst Castle was built by American newspaper magnate William Randolph Hearst in 1919 after he inherited 40,000 acres of farmland. He would go on to purchase 200,000 more acres of land, allowing him to create the kind of sprawling compound rarely seen to this day. In addition to the main house, La Casa Grande, Hearst Castle is comprised of 3 guest houses, an outdoor pool, and numerous other amenities. One of the most recognizable rooms in the Hearst Castle is the 345,000-gallon indoor Roman pool. Styled after ancient Roman baths, the pool is decorated with 8 statues of Roman and Greek gods, goddesses, and heroes. Hearst was known for throwing lavish parties and hosting important figures at his San Simeon home. Winston Churchill, Charlie Chaplin, Cary Grant, Greta Garbo, and Calvin Coolidge were some of the hundreds of house guests. The home was donated to the state of California in 1958 and welcomes more than 750,000 visitors every year. Hidden away in the Tuscan hills of northern Italy, this beautiful Moorish castle was built in 1605. But for more than 2 decades, it's been sitting empty. There are 365 rooms in the Castello di Samazzano, one for every day of the year. The Moroccan-style palatial villa is a labyrinth of exquisitely tiled rooms, each one intricately unique. The castle was once a luxury hotel, restaurant, and bar, but closed its doors in the early 1990s. It wasn't until 2013 that a local nonprofit committee was founded to help raise awareness for the increasingly decaying castle. They have no ownership of Samazzano, but they help to arrange and promote rare public openings. What you're seeing was built by one man, pebble by pebble, over 33 years. One morning, mailman Ferdinand Cheval stumbled across an interesting-looking stone on his delivery route. He picked it up, and from there, an obsession began. Using stones he collected on his walk, Cheval worked each night, without any formal training, to build what is now called the Palais Ideal. The final structure is 85 feet long and 300 feet high. It mingles Chinese, Algerian, and Northern European influences to create a fantastic and completely original castle of grottos. He opened the palace in 1870 for the public to enjoy. In his own words, he says, "You start wondering if you have not been carried away into a fantastic dream with boundaries beyond the scope of imagination." And this incredible, bizarre, and unique place does look like something you could only see in a dream.